Hello, I am Dr. Norma Jones, and this is Chapter 7, Delivery and Managing Speaking Anxiety, Learning Objectives. By the end of this chapter, you will be able to distinguish between manuscript, memorized, impromptu, and extemporaneous delivery. Identify principles of effective vocal delivery, including tone, pitch, rate, volume, and articulation. Identify effective physical delivery, including movement, gestures, posture, and facial expressions. Identify common causes of speaking anxiety and strategies to manage it in the classroom and online settings. Identify practices to refine delivery skills through structured drills, peer feedback, and reflection. Introduction. We have already learned that communication involves both language and nonverbal signals. Now, it is time to apply those principles to live delivery. Delivery is more than standing up and speaking. It is how your voice, body, and presence work together to connect with an audience. At the same time, most people face anxiety when speaking in front of others. Learning delivery techniques alongside strategies to manage nerves will give you the tools to communicate with confidence. This chapter introduces delivery methods, explores vocal and physical delivery, addresses ways to manage speaking anxiety, and provides practice strategies for rehearsing and refining your vocal and physical delivery skills. The more you practice these techniques, the more natural they will feel, and the more you can channel nervous energy into effective connection with your audience. Delivery methods. Effective delivery can be approached in several ways, and each method has strengths and weaknesses depending on the purpose of the speech. In this section, we will preview the 4 most common methods of delivery and consider how each applies to both informative and persuasive speeches. Manuscript delivery. Reading a speech verbatim from a written text is known as manuscript delivery. This style is useful for situations where exact wording matters, such as political addresses or legal statements, and it emphasizes the precision of language. However, when applied to classroom contexts, it rarely works well for informative or persuasive speeches. Informative speeches require clear explanation and audience connection, while persuasive speeches depend on credibility and enthusiasm. Relying too heavily on a manuscript can cause the delivery to sound monotone or disengaged if not practiced with vocal variety and purposeful eye contact. Memorized delivery. Memorized delivery involves committing a speech fully to memory. This style is common for short ceremonial speeches or theatrical performances, where exact words add to the occasion. Its strength lies in allowing for polished delivery and strong eye contact. However, forgetting even one line can cause panic or disrupt the flow of thought. In the context of informative speeches, memorized delivery can make the content sound less flexible or conversational, which may reduce clarity for the audience. For persuasive speeches, while memorization might help with confidence and passion, it can also risk sounding rehearsed rather than authentic. The key is to maintain presence and adapt if memory lapses occur. Impromptu delivery. Impromptu delivery occurs when a speaker must speak with little or no preparation. It is common in class discussions, job interviews, or when responding to unexpected questions. The strength of impromptu speaking is that it encourages an authentic conversational tone and can make the speaker sound natural and approachable. The limitation is that it may lack structure or clarity, especially without practice. In an informative speech, impromptu delivery can sometimes provide relatable, spontaneous examples, but it risks leaving out important details or clear organization. In persuasive speeches, this style can sound passionate and genuine, yet it may not provide enough structured reasoning or evidence to convince an audience unless the speaker has strong familiarity with the topic. Extemporaneous delivery. Extemporaneous delivery is both prepared and practiced, but delivered from note cards. It combines careful preparation with a conversational style, making it preferred in most professional and academic contexts. For informative speeches, this method allows the speaker to explain clearly, adapt examples, and engage the audience without sounding scripted. For persuasive speeches, extemporaneous delivery offers flexibility to respond to audience reactions while maintaining a confident structure, which strengthens credibility and enhances the power of persuasion. Please review my linked video for quick tips to improve your extemporaneous speaking by using note cards. Vocal delivery. Your voice is your primary tool in public speaking. Strong vocal delivery combines several elements. Volume refers to the loudness of your voice. It is important because the audience must hear you clearly without being overwhelmed. Effective volume shows confidence and ensures your message reaches everyone. Online, test your microphone to balance clarity and comfort. Pitch refers to the highness or lowness of your voice. Pitch variation is important because a monotone disengages listeners, while a varied pitch emphasizes key ideas and sustains attention. Rate the speed at which you speak. A moderate pace with intentional pauses is important because it allows the audience to process information in both informative and persuasive speeches. Speaking too quickly can cause confusion, while speaking too slowly may cause one to lose interest. Pauses. Pauses are moments of silence that separate ideas. They are important because they give the audience time to absorb information, highlight transitions, and add dramatic effect in persuasive appeals. Vocal variety. This is the mix of tone, pitch, rate, and volume. It is important because it prevents monotony, adds emphasis, and helps align your delivery with the content and purpose of your speech. Pronunciation. Pronunciation refers to how words are spoken. It is important because mispronunciations can sometimes distract an audience, yet it is also normal for different regions and cultures to have different accepted pronunciations. Rather than aiming for a single correct way, speakers should focus on clarity so the audience understands. Being comfortable with your natural pronunciation and respecting variation supports both informative clarity and persuasive credibility while valuing linguistic diversity. Tone. Tone is the emotional quality of your voice. It is important because it conveys enthusiasm, seriousness, or concern and must align with your speech purpose. A mismatched tone can confuse or alienate listeners. Articulation. Articulation refers to how clearly and distinctly words are spoken. It is important because unclear speech can reduce audience understanding. At the same time, there are many acceptable ways to articulate based on cultural and regional backgrounds. Rather than aiming for one standard, speakers should focus on being understood by their audience. Clear articulation strengthens credibility, but it is also important to respect natural differences in how people shape sounds and words. Dialect. Dialect is the regional or cultural pattern of speech. It is important because it shapes identity and fosters connection with an audience. Different dialects reflect cultural diversity and should be respected as valid ways of speaking. Rather than trying to hide or erase dialectal differences, effective speakers embrace them while focusing on clarity so that their message is understood. This inclusive approach values diversity and strengthens communication. Filler words. Filler words are sounds like like, or you know. They happen because speakers often need time to think, organize ideas, or manage nervousness, and fillers slip in as a natural placeholder. They are important to monitor because excessive use can make a speaker sound unprepared or uncertain. Replacing fillers with purposeful pauses creates a stronger impression. To control filler words, practice pausing silently when you need to gather your thoughts. Record yourself to identify patterns, and rehearse with a partner who signals when fillers appear. Over time, intentional pauses will feel more natural and reduce reliance on fillers. Please review my linked video for quick tips to eliminate filler words. To combine these elements effectively, practice blending two or more at the same time. For example, raise your pitch and volume together to highlight an important statistic in an informative speech, or slow your rate and lower your tone in a persuasive conclusion to convey seriousness. By combining vocal elements intentionally, you can align delivery with your message and keep the audience engaged. Physical delivery. Your body reinforces your vocal delivery. Effective physical delivery includes gestures and emblems. Gestures are purposeful, natural hand and arm movements used to emphasize points, while emblems are culturally specific gestures, like a thumbs up. They are important because they highlight key ideas, reinforce verbal content, and help audiences remember. Be mindful that some emblems may not translate across cultures. Please review my linked video for quick tips to conquer fidgeting. Posture and movement. Posture refers to how you hold your body, and movement is how you use space during a speech. Standing tall with relaxed shoulders communicates confidence and credibility. Moving intentionally between points is important because it signals transitions, keeps the audience visually engaged, and avoids distracting pacing. Eye contact. Eye contact is a direct visual connection with the audience or with the camera online. It is important because it builds trust, conveys sincerity, and helps maintain attention. Without it, speakers may appear nervous, disengaged, or untrustworthy. Please review my linked video for quick tips to better connect with your audience by harnessing the power of eye contact. Facial expressions. Facial expressions show emotions through movements of the face. They are important because they align delivery with the message, reinforcing tone. A smile can create warmth in an informative introduction, while seriousness can strengthen a persuasive appeal. Appearance. Appearance is how you present yourself physically, including dress and grooming. It is important because it shapes first impressions and demonstrates respect for the audience and context. Appropriate appearance supports credibility and helps align your message with the occasion. Speaking anxiety and practicing delivery. Nervousness is a normal response to public speaking, and in fact, it has been so common across cultures that it has its own clinical name, glossophobia. From a personal perspective, public speaking can feel like standing before a tribe and risking rejection, which our brains interpret as a threat. This sense of exposure makes speaking feel tough, even when the setting is a classroom or online meeting. Beyond normal jitters, the vast majority of people experience some level of this anxiety, which means you are not alone. The key is to recognize it as a common and manageable issue. Causes of speaking anxiety include fear of judgment or embarrassment, lack of preparation, high-stakes situations like graded speeches, and online environments where feedback is harder to gauge. By acknowledging its prevalence, we can work together to manage speaking anxiety with strategies and practice. Managing speaking anxiety. The goal is not to eliminate nerves, but to manage them. Preparation and practice. Preparation means rehearsing content until it feels natural. It is important because familiarity reduces nervousness and builds confidence. Box breathing. This is a breathing technique where you inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. It is important because it calms the body, slows the heart rate, and reduces the physical signs of anxiety. Visualization. Visualization is mentally imagining yourself delivering successfully. It is important because the brain responds to mental rehearsal as if it were real, helping create positive expectations. Superhero pose. This involves standing tall with feet apart, shoulders back, and hands on hips. It is important because a strong posture can increase feelings of confidence and readiness. From a neuroscience perspective, adopting expansive body postures can influence hormone levels linked to confidence and stress reduction. This not only improves how you feel, but can also enhance performance during informative and persuasive speeches by signaling authority and calm to both yourself and your audience. Positive self-talk. This strategy replaces negative thoughts with affirmations like, I am ready and my audience is supportive. It is important because it reframes nervous energy into constructive energy and reinforces self-belief. Desensitization. Desensitization means gradually increasing exposure to speaking situations from small groups to larger audiences. It is important because repeated exposure lessens fear over time. Avoid quicksanding. This means resisting the urge to sink into nervous habits like apologizing, over-explaining, or speeding up. It is important because staying steady prevents nervousness from escalating. Online adaptation. Online adaptation involves testing technology, making eye contact with the camera, and minimizing distractions. It is important because digital presence requires different cues to maintain connection and credibility with an audience you may not see directly. Please review my linked video for quick tips to crush your anxiety and boost your confidence before public speaking. Practicing and refining delivery. Strong delivery comes from deliberate practice and feedback. Like athletes, speakers can build confidence through repetition. Structured practice. Structured practice means rehearsing intentionally, such as with a mirror, recording yourself, or practicing in front of peers. It is important because deliberate repetition builds muscle memory and helps refine both vocal and physical delivery. Feedback. Feedback refers to receiving constructive comments from classmates or instructors. It is important because outside perspectives reveal habits you may not notice, and focusing on one or two areas at a time makes improvement manageable. Online guided practice videos. Online guided practice videos are structured rehearsals you can follow step by step, progressing from private practice with a plain background to simulated classroom settings. They are important because they reduce anxiety gradually, provide visual models to imitate, and simulate the real speaking environment both in person and online. I have 4 guided practices for your persuasive speeches to help with delivery in progressive stages. Level 1, start your practice with me. The background is plain to help with distractions. Level 2, practice with me in front of a blurred out virtual classroom to get used to speaking in a more public environment. Level 3, practice with me with a broader and clearer view of the classroom. I will appear smaller to help you get used to a classroom environment. Level 4, building on our level 3 video, I will remove my verbal prompts to help with the timing of your speech. I also have 4 guided practices for your informative speeches to help with delivery in progressive stages. Level 1, start your practice with me. The background is plain to help with distractions. Level 2, practice with me in front of a blurred out virtual classroom to get used to speaking in a more public environment. Level 3, practice with me with a broader and clearer view of the classroom. I will appear smaller to help you get used to a classroom environment. Level 4, building on our level 3 video, I will remove my verbal prompts to help with the timing of your speech. Digital presence. Digital presence means rehearsing with your camera on and paying attention to lighting, background, and camera angle. It is important because online speeches rely heavily on visual impression, and a strong presence ensures credibility and connection even when the audience is not physically in front of you. Self-evaluation. Self-evaluation is reflecting after each rehearsal by asking questions such as, did I use eye contact? Was my tone appropriate? Did I eliminate filler words? It is important because honest reflection helps speakers take responsibility for their growth and track progress over time. Conclusion. Delivery is the applied art of public speaking. It combines language, voice, and body into a complete performance. Nervousness is natural, but preparation, practice, and confidence-building strategies transform anxiety into energy. By mastering delivery methods, practicing vocal and physical control, and refining through feedback, you will become not only a stronger speaker, but also a more confident communicator in every aspect of life. Thank you so much for listening to this chapter of Fearless Public Speaking.